Hi, welcome back to Velo News TV. I'm Neil Rogers. I'm here with Chris Horner. As we've been every day with another installment of the Horner Diaries. We're here in Bourg-en-Bresse, and mountains start today.
Absolutely. The real part of the tour is starting today, no doubt about it. Normally, I think maybe today might have been a little bit calmer of day, but with problems with Vino and Cloden having sore knees and sore backs and sore butts and all that kind of stuff, I gotta believe some of the directors that are really going for GC here are saying that they really want to put it down today and don't give those guys a chance to recover and come better, because we're racing today hard, we're racing tomorrow hard, but then there's a rest day. And after crashes like those guys have had, if you give them a rest day and they come back 100%, all chances of winning the tour might be over. So I gotta believe some of the directors are saying now's the time to take the tour in your hands versus the traditional way of maybe waiting for a little bit later like you would see in earlier tours before this year.
Boy, cycling is sure an unforgiving sport. I mean, everybody expressed sympathy to Vinokurov and Cloden the other day, but as soon as the road turns uphill, hey, all sympathies seem to kind of fall to the wayside.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're going to lose the yellow jersey, or if you have a chance to win the yellow jersey, sympathy definitely falls a little bit back on the burner there in terms of how important it is to wait for someone like that. That being said, I think Vino was robbed on how they were holding the cars back from the field when he crashed, because I really believe the caravan should always be there unless a rider just actually, has been dropped versus a crash or flat. And I know they pulled the cars back. You look at the stage we won with Robbie, they didn't pull the cars back for Robbie. Robbie was able to get back on, come back up with 4K and won the stage. And for Vino, I think it should have been granted the same thing, but that's what happens in bike racing is with the officials, they change the rules a little bit. Sometimes you're allowed to grab of the water bottle and get a little fling and come back up to the peloton. Sometimes you're not. So sometimes you do it, you get a fine. Sometimes you do it, you get a time penalty, and you just really never know exactly what's going to happen. So when you're crashing with 25K to go, you got to assume you're going to be in trouble and they're going to hold the cars back from the field. But with that being said, we're on to an exciting day, I think. And today's going to look good, and tomorrow should be even better.
Yeah, what's your prediction for today? I mean, obviously it's a pretty tough climb, but there's a bit of a descent, chance to regroup. Do you think that we're going to see a breakaway go to the line? Do you think maybe today's the day where a little bit of separation on the climb comes back together for the contenders?
Well, everyone's been saying you're going to see an early break go, but I think you'll see an early break go, and I think it's going to get pulled back, because right now still everyone's same time on GC and anyone can win it, so you really can't afford to give a break 5 minutes still. I think it'll come back on the big climb. Possibly they let someone like myself that's not a big favorite sneak away somewhere on the descent or just before the top of the summit, maybe gain a little bit of time or something. But in general, I think you're going to see 20 guys coming to the line together, because maybe 10, 15 going over the top, and after that a few guys getting back on, and a small group sprint coming to the line.
Well, it's funny. Over the years, you and I have been talking at various races and whatnot, and your prediction rate is usually somewhere between 99 and 100% accurate. And actually that brings me to one of the questions I wanted to ask. We've been doing these reader emails, and the overwhelming, most common question for you was, Chris, you're a great interview. You obviously are very comfortable in front of the camera, and you have an amazing ability to sort of predict the race. Would you ever consider a career in commentating on races? I mean, we probably got a dozen of those yesterday to Velo News TV at InsideInc.com. I know you and I have talked about that in the past, but for everybody who's wondering, what's your answer?
Well, you have to pace right. You do any job, but commentating with cycling, it would have to be something where, okay, you have just July off. So how do you have a 9-to-5 job where you can take all of July off, or take, maybe it's possible someone wants to hire you for the whole year. You're doing the Giro, you're doing July with the Tour, you're doing what used to be the World Cup races, and so on and so forth. So it absolutely, the pace right is something I definitely do. I think the hardest problem I'd have there is I don't know if I can pronounce everyone's names correctly.
Sure. And I did want to do one specific reader email, and it's from Craig. Oh, no, that last question, sorry, was from Craig Lindbergh. I mean, I'm attributing it to him. We got a dozen of them, but I wanted to attribute it to him. But this is actually from Ed in Fresno, California, and he says, last year you ate very race healthy, quote unquote, for quite a bit of the tour and didn't feel especially well. This year, are you eating race healthy, or are you eating more of what you want, the pizza and the cheeseburgers that you told us about?
Well, that's the funny thing is 2 days ago, I was in, the race started off, we went really fast at the beginning. Right after that, the breakaway went away, and then it slowed down. and Machine, the Sonia Duvall director, had a pizza in his car sitting right next to him, and I go flying by his car after a pee stop, and I hear him yell out in Spanish, "Hey Chris, do you want a pizza?" And I was like, oh, maybe I misheard that or something like that, but I hit the brakes as hard as I could anyways, came back to him, and he's got a large pizza sitting on the side of it, right next to him, passenger seat, hands me over a slice of pizza, and yeah, I ate that and continued on racing.
What about with the team dinners?
Well, it's perfect with the team dinners. We got our own chef again, and so as long as the food is really cooked good like that, I love eating good cooked food, of course, and there's no reason to go out and go for the McDonald's or order out for pizza or something when you got a chef that's really cooking you good steak, good chicken. But normally what we were seeing more last year was at the beginning is you're coming into the French hotels and we were getting leftover bad pasta or something like that with no sauce, and so then I'm going to go back to my normal diet, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Chris, as always, thanks for the time, and we'll look forward to talking to you tomorrow.
Thanks, good talking with you.